So, the Cincinnati Bengals posted on the website yesterday the 24 mock draft roundup. Well, they took the three best first round picks, mock drafts, and actually went ahead and posted them on their website. So, can you guess the three players? Well, you already know J.C. Latham is probably one of them. We looked at yesterday, Mel Kiper. And yes, he is the first guy on the list. J.C. Latham, offensive tackle from Alabama. The second guy on the list is Mims from Georgia. And the third guy on the list is Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver from LSU. Now, this one kind of surprised me, right? Because, well, yes, I understand he's an athletic playmaker with the size and the ball skill to thrive. Sorry for the cut, guys. My allergies were going crazy. But wide receiver is definitely not a position I think we would take anywhere near the first 3 rounds. Personally speaking, I just don't think we would. There's not really a reason to. If Brock Bowers on the board, maybe take Brock Bowers. If not, I feel like it's a tackle. I feel like it's either Brock Bowers or right tackle. You can make arguments why it could be a defensive lineman, a defensive tackle, depending on who's available. But at the end of the day, wide receiver is definitely down my list completely on options that I feel like we would go with in the first round here. But let's go back up to this, because I want to read some of the actual references of why we should take J.C. Latham. So we looked at this yesterday, but we'll kind of look at it again. Mel Kiper said, Latham started 27 games at right tackle for the Crimson Tide over the past 2 seasons. He can maul defenders in the run game, but he's also elite on his feet as a pass protector. And I feel like either Mims, Fuga, J.C. Latham, any of these first round offensive tackles are very polished and ready to go. Last year, the only polished offensive tackle going into the draft was, I believe it was Peter Sharonsky. Other than that, Darnell Wright was very much of a, product or a raw talent. Same thing with this Broderick Jones, the Steelers guy, and then so on and so on. There was a lot of raw talent last year, where it's like, okay, well, this guy is 6'7", 340 pounds. He looks good. He definitely is struggling in certain areas, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because he has the intangibles we need him to have in order to be successful. And then you have tackles like Peter Sharonsky last year, and I think Paris Johnson also, where you look at him and you're like, ooh, these guys, no, these guys are polished. They could be a franchise tackle day one. This year, we have a lot of those guys in the first round. So again, J.C. Latham is obviously up there, the top of the list there. Mims is another guy who's on the top of the list there. He's another very, polished type of player. ESPN, and by the way, actually, before I read this one, Daniel Jeremiah said, if he's still available at pick 18, it will be a desirable scenario for Cincinnati. Yeah, protect Joe Burrow. The second option here is Mims. ESPN Jordan Reed said, at 6'7", 340 pounds, he is a nimble mover with great balance in pass protection and strength in the run game. Josh Edwards said profiles as potentially the top offensive tackle prospect in the draft. And he's not kidding. All of these offensive tackles that we have looked at so far, all of them could easily be the best considered the best tackle on the board on every team's prospective boards. So every team has their own list of players, right? They have, all right, this guy's here, this guy's here, this guy's here. We like this guy over this guy. We like this guy over this guy. Every team's gonna have Mims. There's gonna be a team that has Mims at number 1, J.C. Latham at number 1, Fuga is number 1. Go down the list. Obviously, not O'Neal. What's his name? Now I can't think of the guy's name. The guy from Notre Dame. I can't think of his name. But all of these offensive linemen, there's gonna be a list or a board where they have them at number 1. It's just, this is how good this offensive line class is when it comes to tackles. And some of these guys like Mims, like J.C. Latham, played right tackle in college. So going from right tackle in college to the NFL is not going to be that challenging. But going from like left tackle, where I think Fuga played and a couple other guys, would be more of a challenging fun. And also getting them to transition to that position. USA Today said the 6-foot Michael Schwartz, okay. The 6'7", 340-pound Mims' massive potential makes him an attractive long-term bet. Yeah. Again, like I said, I think it comes down to these two guys right here. If Brock Bowers is on the board, maybe. If there is a defensive lineman that you don't expect to be on the board, does drop to you in that situation, the Bengals are going to do the best player available strategy. This is how they are. That's just how they operate. So just keep that in mind. But these two guys right here, those are my picks. I don't really like this that much. I don't personally like this that much. I think he has... I do agree here, and Bucky Brooks, he obviously is very well-respected NFL.com guy. He has a lot of connections with the Ravens. I forget exactly what it is. Did he didn't play for the Ravens, did he? I know there's a lot of talk about him with the Ravens. Like, he covers a lot of Ravens stuff, and he's very pro-Ravens as well. I don't know exactly what his connection is, but this is the guy he's talking about, by the way. 6.39 prospect grade. He's 6'4", 205 pounds. And I love this, right? I love this guy. Don't get me wrong. This guy would be great to go for us. Just not in the first round. Especially not over offensive tackle. And how I look at this next year is I think Yoshi next year is going to take a huge step forward. He's going to explode next year. Become an absolute superstar for us. And behind Yoshi, obviously, is Chuck Sizzle. And I expect Chuck Sizzle to take a huge step forward and really explode for us. We bring back Trenton Irwin. I would love to have Brian Thomas Jr. here. But if we franchise tag T, let alone figure our contract out with T, there's just no spot available. And we're not going to use a first-round pick on a fourth receiver. Even if you're like, well, he would be better than Chuck Sizzle or better than, Charlie Jones. People keep telling me to stop calling him Chuck Sizzle. If he's going to be better than Charlie Jones or he'll be better than, Yoshi, that's fantastic. But you know what's even better? Us figuring out a right tackle position and getting that solidified and then worrying about who could be better than Yoshi and Chuck Sizzle or Charlie Jones. I just always call him Chuck Sizzle. His strengths, good job at steering clear of press hands during his release. Short area shake helps uncover for quick hitters underneath. Able to bend hips and sit in the chair at route breaks. Okay. Weaknesses, needs to pick up on his route pace and salesmanship as a pro. Will battle occasionally, focus drops. Can avoid the catch contact by working back to the throws. Again, like I said, I know he could be a great player. I do understand that. It's just personally speaking, for what we're working on right now and what we need to work on right now is protect Joe Burrow. 1,000%. Everything else will get figured out. Because if Joe can last 17 games, I promise you, he can take a receiver with less talent than Brian Thomas here. I haven't looked too much into him, so I can't even say if he has that crazy talent or not. But he could take someone with less talent and go farther if he can stay healthy. Just how it works and how it is. Tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you guys next one. Peace out.